the Secretary of Defense on September 10th, 2001, went on live TV and said that $3.2 trillion or $2.3 trillion went missing from the Pentagon.
Yep.
And that's with a T, bro.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you've seen Loose Change. Loose Change, it's a documentary on YouTube. Have you seen that?
Oh, yeah. Probably like 2008.
Yeah, it's a little bit dated, but a lot of the facts in it hold very true. And what's interesting was one thing they didn't bring up in it, but I vaguely remember from when I was a kid watching the news when it happened, and I've seen people talk about it more recently as well on like Reddit and stuff like that. But basically, what people don't remember is like the day it happened or the day after it happened. You had these major news networks like Fox, CNN, NBC, all these major news networks that were obviously covering it. And one of the big questions going around like the following day was, do you think our government had something to do with it? Like, do you believe the narrative that it was terrorist? And it was actually about 50-50 of what people thought. Like only half people believed like it was a terrorist attack, and then the other half thought like something was fishy with the situation, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that is interesting, man. You know?
Yeah. It gets lost in time. People don't remember stuff like that, you know?
I was just kind of looking at the time. Yeah, how old were you when it happened? Because I was in first grade.
Oh, God. How old are you now, then?
26.
So, yeah, I feel like I was in fourth grade, but I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I was in third, but I'm pretty sure I was in fourth. I graduated 2010, so I don't know what year you graduated.
2012. Yo, did y'all ever have reading buddies in elementary school where like you'd be like a first grader, second grader, probably like a first grader, and you'd have like a fourth grade, fifth grade reading buddy?
Yeah, we called it like a brother or something like that, but yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, Big Brother or something like that. Yeah, I remember it.
So I was looking at the time and I'm just thinking like, damn, man, we're probably, well, okay, no, we have 30 minutes, not 15 minutes left. We have roughly, I think, about 20-30 minutes left.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is like, we're gonna have to do like a part 3, you know what I'm saying? This is like a truth or history / conspiracy episode. But
For real.
honestly, I've mentioned before how I would like to, me personally, not that you have to do it or anything like that, or anyone has to, I would like to, do some episodes just talking about stuff like, the whole St. Patrick's Day thing I was trying to talk about before, but it's kind of like, clumsy, unprepared, I should say.
Yeah. But I mean, sometimes that's the best stuff, you know?
Yeah, and last thing I want to say about it, like, unless you want to add anything, because I mean, honestly, dude, if I don't end talking about our history and just like weird things now, if I don't end talking about it now, we'll have to do a part 6.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say we'll end up with a 5-parter.
So the last thing I'm going to say though is like sometimes people are like uncomfortable, and I know people personally who have you can see it, or who are uncomfortable talking about the stuff because, they know, like, for example, that your phones are listening or that your, computer's collecting information about you or stuff like that. But they're afraid, because one time I was at a tech store and I was talking to them about tech and stuff and blah, blah, blah. And it got into talking about, our phones listening. And this lady was basically acting like, like she, like, even though they kind of brought it up, she didn't want to talk much about it. She's kind of beating around the bush. And I was just literally being as forward as I'm being right now with you. And so, she was like, no, seriously, and it's like, yeah, no, I know. Like, it's not like one person's listening, but it's like, it's programs and shit that look for keywords and stuff like that. And just data collection, collecting raw data to be analyzed later. That's why there's these big servers and shit like that. But the thing is, I'm trying to say is that and of course I'm probably gonna lose it. Uh, is that for okay? So is I don't think it's a good thing to be afraid because just like with the ghosts and shit like that, which I didn't I didn't really get to reply to earlier. Maybe we'll get to it later, but like I think energy like that is really attracted a lot of times to people who are vulnerable. Like you were saying, you were a young, innocent kid. It's people that are afraid. Like if you're not afraid, you know what I'm saying? I don't think energy that's like, ghosts or if it is real, I don't think it really is attracted to you. I think that things prey on the weak, just like predators,
I think you're right, and I also believe that like if you like pay attention to it, it kind of gives it more power.
Exactly. So my point being, and then we'll move on to actually some RuneScape. I feel cheap even naming this a Rune Pod. You know what I mean? Because we haven't really even gotten to RuneScape yet. But
It's a conspiracy.
you want that shit trimmed, bro? You want your tinfoil hat trimmed?
Yeah, I do.
So my point is though, is that me personally, I find it more powerful for me to know this stuff and not be afraid and not censor myself for what I'm saying right now, or the camera that's in front of me, on the webcam or whatever, and not putting tape or whatever. It's because I don't want to buy into that energy of being afraid. The thing is that it's out there. You know what I'm saying? Especially now. So that's what. Don't look at this stuff as like that lady did at the store. Don't look at it like as a fear thing, because I've known people that are close to me that have had a similar paralyzing, just clamming up response when it gets to talking about things, because they don't
Yep.
worry about it, man. As long as you're not fucking blowing shit up or like hurting people, or selling fucking massive amounts of drugs or something like that, like now, until they have the technology and ability to act on the shit, analyze it in real time and then act on it. Until that time, the best thing we can do as as I love this country, as Americans, best thing we can do is to actually like say what is going on. Not to be like, okay, it's going on. Oh, I'm afraid, and just do whatever you want. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
But
well, the biggest issue for my kind of closing comment on it, I think, is that like we're already too far gone. Like people already gave up their privacy. Everyone posts, "Oh, I'm going here to eat tonight" on Facebook, or "Oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing that." It's like everyone's there's a log of everything you've done for the past 5 years. Like, your phone's tracking you via GPS. You have a smartphone, you gave up your right to privacy when you carry that thing in your pocket. Like, if you're doing something you shouldn't be, then you got to be technologically savvy enough to be able to cover your tracks. And if you're not, then, if you're doing something wrong, you got a reason to be afraid. Otherwise, like you said, you shouldn't be afraid of it. I think technology can be used for the betterment, but, it can also be the downfall. It's all about who gets their hands on what and when.
Sarah, I was sent from the future. Get to the chopper.
Pretty much. All right, but basically, we'll get back onto a little bit of topic here. I think we should probably get back to a little bit of RS.
Hey, do you know what yeah, man, we're not gonna have that, we're gonna make plenty of episodes, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're gonna put plenty of content out there, continually. But you know what? I think you just actually made me realize this for the first time ever. What's scary about the technology is that if you look at what it, right now it's just like, looking at things that piss off people and people react to things that people like, or like, sex sells or whatever. It's looking at basically the id of humans. It's looking at your primal instincts and stuff like that, your desires, and it's giving you that, but it's also being able to read that from us. So the thing where it becomes dangerous is when you think about like what are we now? we're not like working in harmony. We're not like helping other, people out, no wars and peace and all that stuff. What we're doing is we're exploiting people. I mean, you look, health insurance, it would be like $140 a week for me
Yeah.
to get health insurance, right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Which is insane. That's, basically $600 a month, which is more than it would cost rent. So my point is, anyways, is that we're and always have been in a history, not always, but as far as we know, to this cycle of Earth's history, from what we remember, it's always been about exploiting others, debt, and conflict, basically.
Yep. Yep.
So
People don't.
that's where it becomes scary, man, is because if think about what we've always done. If technology was to look at like, oh, what have they done? Oh, this is what they do. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it would take the information it's able to collect at rapid speeds. I don't know. It would just be complete control. Like
Yeah.
whoever.
You're talking about if it gains sentience and is able to decide if it wants us or not. Like, yeah, obviously we're just, we're burning up the ozone, we're running through fossil fuels. It's as a race we're not very suited for a sustainable future, at least not on this planet. But yeah, I don't know. It's a very
So
good
what's your
point.
stats, bro?
Yeah, I don't even know how to transition back into RS after that one, but
What are your stats, bro? Have you done any quests recently?
oh well, I mean, actually, yeah, I yesterday, I think it was today. I actually got up to 90 range and 80 Slayer.
Congratulations, man.
Yeah, pretty sick. Finally, it took a long time to go from 89 to 90 for range. I didn't think it would take that long, but it's all right. And then Slayer, finally, I got up to 80. I feel like 80 is when you can start actually making money on your tasks because you can start killing necreals, which is nice.
Necreals. What are
Yeah.
those?
It's just a monster that has like a bunch of really good drops, so like you can actually make pretty good money when you're doing a Slayer task rather than spending a bunch of money on like supplies and food. Like the drop table on it's pretty dope.
So I'm not familiar with those, but I was thinking maybe last week at some point that I was looking at Amazon and I found a RuneScape map, like a flag that you can put in your room, but not only that, like a blanket.
That's pretty dope.
And I was like, damn, I want to order this for Luke if he has a PO box,
Yo, hell yeah, that'd be dope.
We could have matching what is it called? Gillianor or something like that? Gillianor.
Yeah, Gillinor, dog.
Gillianor, dog, got that shit tatted on my chest.
Yo, I would act like I wouldn't.
Oh, would you really?
My chest, no. I'd do it like on my leg.
Would you really though?
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
Do you have any tattoos now?
Yeah, I got 4. I think 3. I have 3. Why do you?
All right, we got him, boys. Book him. That's the one. That's the suspect. 3 tattoos.
Do you?
Nah, nigga.
Nah.
And I give you the green card. You get see. Look, I'm passing down the black card to you. You have to get it renewed within 3 years, though. So.
Oh, word. Are you trying to make it so you can get buried in a Jewish graveyard? Is that why?
What do you mean?
In Jewish graveyards, if you have many tattoos, they don't let you get buried in it.
Oh no, I was just giving you a black card to be able to say nigga.
Oh, all right.
Nicodamus. I've never heard, for the people listening, Luke has never said that, but
nah.
me being 25% black, I'm gonna use that to to the full, as much as I can. I mean, fucking, it's hilarious.
Absolutely.
This fucking black girl that I was working with at one point in my life was like talking to this black dude, and she's like, so, or what you doing, nigga? And she's like, I'm the only one here that can say that. And then I like looked at her as like, Actually, no. Like I can also say like I just sound like I sound white when I